A warming world turning potential farmland to desert. Food prices that hit an all-time high this year, now expected to double by 2030.
So this resource-constrained world that we're now entering is one where we have to have parliamentarians prepared to really take on this enormous challenge and demand change.
Parliamentarian Khachik Harutyunyan of Armenia is championing the cause of hunger and rural development at the Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe Parliamentary Assembly.
In many countries today, the problem of food security is dire.
The Assembly this month passed Harutyunyan's resolution, calling on national parliaments to enact policies to secure food production and improve conditions in rural communities.
We call on parliaments and governments to draw special attention to agricultural lands, as it is the local agricultural community or the main producers of food.
The resolution is a sign of parliamentary support for the goals of the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization.
Parliament should invest in rural areas and in scientific agriculture research. In terms of rural areas, they should invest in health care, better schools, better roads, and ports away from the rural areas so that farmers can get their produce to market.
The measure also calls for targeted financial assistance to developing countries to meet food production goals.
There's an inevitable sense of despair that comes from the very people who need the protection of parliamentarians, the people who parliamentarians are most there to represent, those who cannot represent themselves, the poor and the powerless and the vulnerable of their countries.
That's why parliamentarians like Italy's Riccardo Migliori voted to declare food security a new and major challenge demanding the OSCE's attention.
Without justice, without bread, we have without peace.
The July vote calls for more cooperation with the UN and European Union. With food prices at crisis levels 2 of the last 3 years, parliamentarians now seek to act to stabilize the global food market.